Hello, everyone. My name is Jen from A New Fit. We are going to wait a couple minutes to see if a few other people join, and we're going to get started with 30 minutes of mobility today. So for those of you who don't know what A New Fit is, A New Fit was designed for the 55 plus body. We focus on mobility, range of motion, and the necessary function in all of our bodies to maintain independence and longevity for the entire process of our aging journey. We look at it as an investment into the you 10 years from now. So I'm excited that you're all here investing in your body today. These 30-minute mobility sessions are designed to be pretty general and target very, very general types of mobility. In what we do regularly, we provide very customized mobility support and movement assessment to all of our clients. So again, this is very general to match a pretty wide audience. It's not a good representation of what our company does. It's just designed to be helpful. So we will get started right now. We can start with our warm-up. So our standard warm-up focuses on the head first and goes down. We'll focus on the head first. So I'm going to take my left ear and I'm going to drop it to my left shoulder. Now I'm slowly going to bring my chin to the sky, right ear to right shoulder, dropping it so they touch or get as close as you can, and then my chin to my chest. So I want you to do that 5 times in the same direction. Left ear to left shoulder, chin to sky, right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest. All right, go for 5 of those. Take it nice and slow. Make sure your arms are hanging down by your side. You're sort of letting gravity take them. And don't forget to breathe throughout this exercise. Once you've done 5 in that direction, we're going to go ahead and switch to 5 in the other direction. So let me just fix this really quick. All right, I want you to do 5 in the other direction now. So I'm going to bring my left ear to my left shoulder, chin to the sky, right ear to right shoulder, and chin to chest. And we're going to go ahead for 5 of those. Take it nice and slow, again, letting those hands hang down by your side. You should feel a nice stretch in your neck. Sometimes I see people moving their whole body when we do this. Again, this is just meant for your head and your neck. And if you feel an area of tension, you can feel free to sit there for a minute, try and stretch it out. All right, now that we've done 5 and 5, we're going to move to the shoulder. So I want you to look at my shoulders. I'll get a little bit closer so you can see them. You should be standing up. Basically, I want you to make circles with your shoulder like that for 5 backward circles. Make them nice and big. And then 5 forward circles. So again, this is a movement with the shoulder. Even though I'm moving my arm, I really want you to make sure you're engaging that shoulder. Great. Now we're going to do a quick little neck exercise to trigger some muscles in the back of the neck that we don't use often. So I want you to look straight ahead. Imagine that somebody has 2 fingers that are pushing on your chin and are forcing you to have a double chin. I want you to do that once, release it, twice, release it, 3, release. You should start to feel it now. 4, and 1 more for 5, just to activate those little muscles. All right, now we're going to stand with our feet about hip width apart. Make sure you have a nice solid base. If you need a chair next to you because you don't have good balance, that's totally fine. We're going to let our hands hang down by our side, letting gravity take them, and we're going to rotate our torso to the right and to the left, to the right, to the left. This should feel really good. Again, letting your hands just do what they need to do with gravity taking them, and you should feel a really nice stretch in your back. we can start to slow that down and come back to the center. And now we're going to focus on the hips. So I want you to imagine the days when we used to hula hoop. Hopefully some of you are still hula hooping. I haven't done that in a long time. But we're going to make circles with our hips. Again, we're going for 5. I want you to find the range of motion that works for you. So for some of you, it might be little circles. For others, it might be big ones. I don't want to see any pain happening today. So stay in a range that is not painful. And we're going to go to the other side now for 5, 3, 4. Hello. How are you? Are you ready to join us today? We're just getting started with the warm-up. All right, so we are still warming up. We were just doing hip circles. We're going to bring our feet together and our knees together, and now we're going to do knee circles. So again, if you need a chair or a wall to keep your balance, that's fine. Feet together, knees together, and we're making circles for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to make circles in the other direction for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Now we're going to move down to the bottom with our feet. So I'm going to put this camera closer to my feet so you can see. Again, if you need to hold on to a chair or a wall, feel free to do that. I want you to take a little step forward so your right foot is slightly staggered in front of you. You should have a nice little bend in that knee. And I want you to bring your toes up to the sky as high as you can, and then your heel up to the sky. We're going for 5 of those. 3, 4, and 5. Nice. Once you've done that, we're going to rock our foot side to side. So first I go on the outside of my foot and then the inside of my foot. From the front, it looks like this. We're going for 5 of those. We're just getting all the joints warmed up. Good. Now you can bring that foot back to the neutral position. Bring your left foot a little bit in front. Again, if you need to hold on to something, feel free to do that. And we're going to bring our toes to the sky and then our heels to the sky, going for 5. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to rock side to side on that foot for 5. So I'm on 2, 3, 4, 5. I want everyone to do these things in a range that doesn't cause any pain for them. So if you find that you're having pain, dial it back so we can get out of that pain zone. All right, so today we're going to work on the squat a little bit. And the reason that we're working on the squat in this mobility class is because the squat will tell us where you might have some mobility issues, whether it's in the ankle, the knees, or the hips. And we really want to make sure that you have that range of motion. So I just moved, so unfortunately I don't have a chair, but if you can grab a chair, that would be great. I'm going to use an invisible chair to do this. So if you can grab a chair and put it behind you, it's a good idea to have your chair up against something, whether it's up against a wall or up against the edge of a couch so that it doesn't move as you're sitting on it. But find the best position that you can for the chair. It should be a standard chair. You can have arms on it or not. Just make sure it's stable. So we're going to imagine that I have a chair behind me and my legs are touching the back of the chair. I'm going to take a step away from that chair. So now I'm about 1 step away from the chair. My legs are about hip width apart, or they can be a little bit further. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my hands up here like in a prayer position. And I'm going to bring my butt back, so hinging back and then using these muscles so that I tap my butt down on that chair. So if you imagine the chair is here, I'm tapping down on it and standing back up. I want you to focus on doing 8 of those, really tapping down on that chair and standing back up. Some of the things that we want to look for is that you're not driving through the knees. So I don't want to see you driving your knees forward, which is what I'm doing now to touch that chair, but more recruiting these muscles and sitting back into that chair, tapping it and standing back up. And we're going for 8. So I'm at 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Perfect. All right, now if you can find a wall, we're going to do a wall sit. So we're going to continue to strengthen those forward muscles here, there's quads and hamstrings, by doing a wall sit. So I have a wall here. I'm going to put my back flat on it. It might be better if you can see me here. I'm going to put my back flat on the wall. My feet are about a foot in front of it. I don't have socks on because that would be slippery. I'm going to come down the wall. If you're really strong, you can come down into the seated position. If you don't know how strong you are, I'd say come down a little bit so that you're taking your weight here. Should feel this here, back flat against the wall. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. So 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Nice job. If you start to feel yourself sliding down the wall, come back up and take a little rest. We're at 15 seconds, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. You got this. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. So you should feel that burning in the very front of your leg. 30 seconds is a long time, so you did a great job. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some heel raises. So if you have no shoes on, it's better. And using a floor is going to be more stable than a mat. What we're going to do, you can hold on to the wall if you need to, is we're going to raise our heels off the ground together for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, awesome. So at this point, your legs should be tired. You should be feeling warmed up. We're going to get down on the ground, so I don't want you to get too tired before we get there. So if you can get down on the ground safely without any objects, that's fantastic, and you can follow along with me. If you're not sure if you can get down on the ground, I would suggest you use a couch. And so we can imagine that there's a couch here. I'm going to show that one first. I stand up against the couch, so we have an imaginary couch. I take a big step back behind me. I put my hands on that couch, so my weight is shifted over here onto the couch, and I slowly lower my back leg back until I'm like this. And then you can put your hand that's furthest away from this front foot down, your hand that's closest, and move the foot back. Now, if you don't need to use a couch, then we can do the same thing. Like this, you want to take a big step back. You want to stack your hands on that front knee, and you want to come down like this, which takes more strength. And then we're going to take the hand furthest from this foot and put it down, and the hand closest to this foot and put it down. So we're going to continue to work on that squat form a little bit. When we were standing up, it might have been hard to access the full range of motion you needed. So now that you see me in this position, I have my toes tucked under me. My knees are stacked below my hips. I want you to use your hands and push your weight back so you feel a stretch, and try to sit down into those hips as much as you can, holding it for 5. Breathe in through your nose and out to your mouth. and into your nose and out to your mouth, and then come back up. You might feel this in your toes if we don't have the flexibility we need there, and that's okay. You can shake them out. We're gonna do 3 more of those. So tuck those toes and get ready to push back into them. If you don't have the strength you need in your arms, you can go down to your forearms and you can shift that weight back and breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth and in through the nose and out through the mouth, and then slowly come back. And if you're on your forearms, you can come up, untuck those toes, shake them out. And we're gonna go back again for a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And come back. If you can stay up on the hands, it's better because I want you to try to keep a neutral spine. But if you have to go down to the forearms, that's fine. Just make sure you keep a straight back. And we're gonna go for 1 more, pushing back into that. A breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we're gonna come back off of that. Now we're in all fours. I wanna show you that my knees are about hip width apart. You don't want them to be like this because you won't have good balance, and you don't want them to be like this because it's gonna put a lot of strain on your hips. You want them about hip width apart, and we're gonna do our next exercise. So it's called the cat camel. The first part of this exercise, we breathe in through our nose as we start to look up towards the sky. The most important thing here as I look up is I imagine my belly button is being pushed down towards the mat, and I create a concave back. So I'll show you what that looks like. I breathe in through my nose and I create this concave in my back, and then I breathe out through my mouth. I look at the bottoms of my knee and I come up like an angry cat. So I want you to do 6 of those. We'll start together. We're gonna breathe in through the nose, concaving that back, pushing that belly button down, breathe out through the mouth, angry cat. In through the nose, and then out through the mouth, angry cat. In through the nose, pushing that belly button down towards the mat, out through the mouth. 3 more, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Got that angry back, in through the nose, out through the mouth. 1 more, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Cool. All right, so you should feel that in your spine. It's a nice little way to wake up your spine. Now we're gonna go ahead and get down on our butts. So if you have a way that you are comfortable doing that, you can go ahead and do it. I like to do it by going down onto my forearms and then walking my forearms out until I'm able to lay down completely on my stomach. And then you can go ahead and make a straight line with the side you want to roll over. So for me, I'm going to roll over my right side. I make this arm long, this leg long, and I roll onto my back. Once I'm on my back, we're going to use a tool that we learned, if you've done this before, called the rocking sit-up. So you can grab to the back of your legs if you're choosing to get up this way, and you can kick your feet out so you come into the seated position. If you've chosen to get down a different way, that's totally fine. I want you seated, hands behind you, and your legs to be a little bit more than hip width apart. So what we're going to do is our hands are supporting us. We're going to go first towards the left. So I imagine my feet here are glued in cement, and my knees are going to drop to the left. Okay, and then they're going to come back up to the straight position and drop to the right. So we're working on a little bit of hip mobility. Drop to the left, come back up and drop to the right. If this is really challenging for you or really painful, you can try it laying down on your back. That's going to reduce some of the hip impingement and make it a little bit easier. And you don't have to go all the way to the floor if that's not comfortable. Again, I want you to stay out of any pain zone. A little bit of discomfort is not a bad thing, but we don't want pain. So you can do this laying down, or you can do this sitting up. We're going to go for 3 more on each side. Nice. Good. And 1 more on each side. Perfect. Now let's see how everyone is feeling. Hopefully good. We are about 20 minutes into the workout. So the next thing I want you to do is I want you to bring your legs cross sit position. So I don't stack them like that because my bottom leg will fall asleep. I leave some space in between them. And once I'm in this position, which might be hard to get into, I'm not sure, I want you to first take your right hand and bring it behind you. And then you're going to take your head and you're going to look behind you so you feel a nice stretch. Then you're slowly going to come to the front. Now I'm going to bring this hand in front of me, this hand behind me, and I'm going to look to the left until I feel a nice stretch. Come back to the front. So I'm going to do that 5 times on each side. You're bringing your face, your chest, everything as far back as you can, and then continuing to rotate that head all the way back so you get a nice stretch and come back to the front. So the hand that goes behind me is the same direction that I'm looking. Nice. And again, we're going for 5 on each side. I'm not the best at counting reps, so let's do 2 more on each side. Nice. And you should feel a nice stretch. Again, don't push this too far so that you're in a pain zone, but just more in a good stretch zone. Perfect. 1 more on each side. Good. All right, we can go ahead and shake everything out. We've been working a lot of different things today. So we're going to go back into this position here where we have our feet a little bit more than hip width apart. And we are going to drop our knees to the left. And then when you do that, I want you to try to reach with your right hand as far back as you can, and then come up. And then we're going to switch sides. And now I'm reaching with my left hand as far back as I can and come up. This back hand is supporting me. So I'm coming over, this hand supports me, and then I reach and come back, and I reach. Nice. And we're going to do again, reach. We're going to go for 1 more on each side. Reach. And reach. Nice. All right, so still sitting on our butt, we're going to do a different version of the cat camel. So you're going to have your feet about hip width apart. I want you to take your hands and rest them on the front of your knees. So I'm going to show you 2 positions. One is like I'm using my hands and I'm pulling myself towards my knees. The other position is I'm releasing everything. So my arms are getting long and I'm coming back. So with those hands rested on the front of your knees, I want you to pull yourself towards your knees as you look up at the sky. Again, you're trying to get that concave back. So you're trying to get that belly button poked out that direction so you get a nice concave back. So we'll do this together. We're going to pull everything in, breathe in through our nose, and look up at the sky. And now we're going to breathe out through our mouth We're gonna release everything, so long arms. We're gonna try to make that angry cat pose with our back, looking right between our knees. Come back up in through the nose, and then out through the mouth, looking between the knees. The angry cat back, in through the nose, concave back, out through the mouth, angry cat. In through the nose, concave back, out through the mouth, angry back. In through the nose, concave back, looking up at the sky, out through the mouth, angry back. And we're going to do one more, in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. That's going to give your spine a really nice stretch. I don't want you to push it too far, so if you pull too hard or let go too much, you might feel a little bit sore in your back because we're not used to using our spine like that. So keep everything in a range of motion that works for you. All right, so to finish off today, we're going to go ahead and do some rocking sit-ups. So it's going to give our back a little bit of a massage, and it's going to work our core. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. I have my feet about hip width apart, and I'm in this position. I hold on to the back of my leg, and I roll back like a roly-poly and come forward. So when I roll back, I want to think about my back like as a tire. You want the tire to keep rolling. So you want a nice round back. Imagine massaging your spine and coming up. You don't want a really flat back where you just fall straight back, because A, that's going to hurt, and B, it's going to be a lot harder. And we want to look at efficiency of movement. So a round back will allow me to come back and then come forward again using the momentum. I want you to focus on 10 of these. And if you get stuck as you come back up, don't worry, just kick those feet and come up. Round back, lifting the butt off the ground, coming forward for a rocking sit up. So doing a total of 10. Nice. And I have 2 more. Again, that nice round back like you're a tire. You don't want any flopping back on the ground. Perfect. All right. So to finish everything today, we're going to do a quick breathing exercise. So you can sit again in this cross-leg position. If that's not comfortable for you, feel free to sit with your feet out or in whatever position is comfortable for you. I want you to put one hand on your diaphragm, which is basically the bottom of my pinky is going to touch the top of my belly button, and then my other hand on my chest. So the purpose of this exercise is not to have this hand on the top moving in and out as we breathe, but to focus on the bottom hand. So I'm going to breathe in through my nose, filling that bottom hand, trying not to move too much this top hand. So filling that hand, and then breathe out through the mouth, inflating that bottom hand. In through the nose, filling the stomach, out through the mouth, deflating the stomach. The top is naturally going to move a little bit, but I don't want it to move a lot. So it might take a few cycles of this to get used to it. In through the nose, filling the stomach, out through the mouth, deflating the stomach. We're going to go for 2 more of those. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And 1 more, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Perfect. So we're trying to calm your nervous system down so you can keep going about your day without being in flight mode. So now we're going to focus on getting back up. So we are sitting on the ground. I want you to make 1 leg long and 1 leg bent. Now I'm going to take this bent leg and I'm going to cross it over the long leg. So for me, I have this bent leg crossed over my right side. So wherever your foot sits now on that bent leg, that's what I want you to turn your chest towards. So I'm going to take my right hand because I'm turning towards my right side and post it up behind me. And then I'm going to turn my chest towards the ground so I come onto all fours. Once I'm on all fours, I can move around easily because I can crawl. If you need a couch, then I want you to walk up towards that couch. And I want you to get your hands onto that couch. Once your hands are on that couch, you can bring one leg up like this. And I want you to push into that couch and stand up. If you're not using a couch, you're just using yourself, then we're going to be on all fours. You're going to bring one leg. I recommend your strongest leg up. Then I bring the hand closest to this leg on the knee. The hand furthest from this leg on the knee. I like to tuck my toe because I have that flexibility. Some people don't. Do what works for you. I want you to shift your center of gravity over this front foot, push into the knee to stand up. And now you are up. You did a great job in this class today. If you have any questions at all, you can feel free to email me at info@anewfit.com. If you have anything that you would like to work on next Thursday, also shoot me an email letting me know what that is. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to be doing this now every Thursday. We had taken a little bit of a hiatus. Thank you for understanding, but we're back and we'll be teaching every Thursday for 30 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.